Most people never fail because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity. They fail because their mind is running an old program they never chose. A program built from fear, repetition, scarcity, and unconscious conditioning. You wake up every day believing you are making choices, but in reality, your nervous system is executing habits learned years ago. This is not weakness. This is biology. And once you understand that, everything changes. A success mindset is not positive thinking. It is not repeating phrases in the mirror while living in contradiction. A success mindset is the ability to regulate emotion, delay gratification, and act with clarity even when the mind resists. Neuroscience is clear. The brain is plastic. It rewires itself based on what you repeatedly focus on, emotionally reinforce, and act upon. Your current life is the physical evidence of your dominant mental patterns. At the beginning, this realization can feel uncomfortable because it removes excuses. It reveals that much of what you call bad luck is actually unconscious self-sabotage, patterns of avoidance, patterns of emotional comfort over long-term growth. The brain is designed to protect you, not to fulfill your potential. It seeks familiarity, not progress. And if your past was chaotic, limited, or painful, your brain may still be protecting you by keeping you small. Scarcity mindset does not begin with money. It begins with perception. A belief that resources are limited, time is running out, and failure would be catastrophic. This belief activates the amygdala, the brain's threat center. When this center is active, the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning, focus, and discipline, goes offline. That is why stressed people procrastinate. That is why anxious people avoid decisions. That is why potential remains locked. You may recognize this pattern. You plan, you feel motivated for a moment. Then resistance appears, fatigue, distraction, doubt. The mind starts negotiating. Tomorrow feels safer than today. This is not laziness, it is emotional avoidance. And no amount of motivation will override a nervous system that feels unsafe. Reprogramming your brain begins with awareness, not judgment, awareness. You observe your thoughts without obeying them. You notice patterns without identifying with them. Neuroscience shows that the moment you label a thought as a pattern instead of a truth, its emotional power decreases. This is the first crack in the old program. There's usually a breaking point, a quiet one, a moment of internal honesty where you admit that your current way of living is no longer sustainable, that continuing like this will cost you years. That potential delay eventually becomes regret. This realization hurts, but it also activates something deeper, responsibility, and responsibility is power. A success mindset is built by repetition, not inspiration. The brain learns through consistency, through daily signals, through evidence. You cannot think your way into a new identity. You must act your way into it. Every small disciplined action sends a message to the brain. I am someone who follows through. Over time, the brain updates its self-image to match behavior. One of the fastest ways to reprogram the brain is through structure, fixed wake-up times, controlled input, intentional silence. Predictability calms the nervous system. A calm nervous system allows focus. Focus allows execution. This is why discipline reduces anxiety. Chaos feeds fear. Structure feeds safety. The body plays a critical role in mindset. Sleep deprivation increases emotional reactivity. Poor nutrition weakens impulse control. Lack of movement clouds cognition. You cannot build a success mindset in a neglected body. Science confirms this repeatedly. The mind and body are one system. When the body stabilizes, the mind gains clarity. Another key element is dopamine regulation. Modern life floods the brain with instant gratification, endless scrolling, artificial stimulation, cheap pleasure. This trains the brain to avoid effort, to expect reward without work, Reprogramming requires reversing this pattern, doing difficult things before easy ones, creating effort-reward alignment again. Over time, the brain relearns that effort is safe and rewarding. Identity is the foundation. If you see yourself as someone who tries, your actions will reflect hesitation. If you see yourself as someone who executes, your behavior will follow. Language matters, self-talk matters. Not affirmations disconnected from reality, but statements aligned with action. I am someone who acts despite resistance. I am someone who finishes what I start. These phrases, when reinforced by behavior, reshape neural pathways. It was in this phase that the realization became clear: no one rebuilds the mind alone. There are guidance materials that help people understand their mental patterns, break cycles of scarcity, and regain control of their inner world. The links are in the description. Spirituality also plays a role, not as escape, but as grounding. Prayer, silence, or meditation reduce noise and reconnect you with perspective. They remind you that urgency is often an illusion, that discipline grows in stillness, that clarity emerges when the mind stops reacting and starts observing. Reprogramming the brain does not feel dramatic. It feels repetitive, boring, simple, and that is why most people quit. They expect transformation to feel exciting. In reality, transformation feels stable, predictable, calm. The absence of chaos feels strange at first. But this is the environment where growth accelerates. As weeks pass, something shifts, focus increases, emotional reactions soften, decisions become easier. You trust yourself more because you have evidence, not motivation, evidence. And evidence is the language the brain understands. Prosperity mindset is not obsession with money. It is the ability to see opportunity without panic, to act without desperation, to build without rushing. When scarcity dissolves internally, external results follow naturally. If you want to reprogram your brain, start today. Not tomorrow, today, with one small act of discipline. One decision honored, one promise kept. That single action begins a chain reaction inside your nervous system. Throughout this process, many people find clarity through ebooks that strengthen the mind, break destructive patterns, and support deep internal restructuring. If you feel ready for that step, the links are in the description. Understand this: your brain is not broken, it is trained. And what was trained can be retrained. The moment you stop identifying with your old patterns, you create space for a new identity to form. This is not about becoming someone else. It is about removing what was never you to begin with. When the mind changes, the body responds. When the body aligns, life transforms. Like the video, subscribe to the Mind Forge, and continue forging your mind with clarity, discipline, and purpose.